We're talking about vibratory health here. When you breathe this little tiny bit of air, if you would follow what happens to the air, there's two things in the air that you breathe. There's the oxygen that every cell needs, and then there's what I call the vital life force. You might call it chi or prana. I call it VLF, vital life force. And it's in the air. And when you breathe it in, it goes into your lungs. The blood cells get pumped to your heart, pumps your blood cells to the lungs. They go to all the little capillaries, the alveoli, and the blood cells take whatever oxygen and life force they can from the alveoli, and then it goes back to the heart, and boom, one giant pump, and that oxygenated blood goes out to every part of your body, every cell in your body, your brain, your liver, your feet, your toes, everything. So that's how you live. This is how you live. You don't breathe, you don't live. So what happens is we have been breathing mostly our whole lives essentially at a tiny, tiny, tiny little fraction of our ability. The tiniest little fraction you can imagine. Just this one diaphragmatic, just a diaphragmatic rib expansion, back expansion breath, probably will triple the amount of air that you take. Now, you don't have to breathe like that every day, every breath. But if you get into the habit, those muscles will start to get some muscle memory. And in general, you'll start to breathe just a little bit deeper. And when you take in just the smallest amount, well, the cell is sitting there waiting for the red blood cell to come down the capillary. And here comes the red blood cell, and the cell, it locks up with the cell. And the cell is saying, great, I'm so glad you're here, man. I need some oxygen. I need some life force. And it looks at the cell and goes, that all you got, dude? Just that little bit? All right, I'll take it. And so the cell takes this little bit of oxygen, this little bit of vital life force, and then goes and does whatever cells do their work. They create their waste. They do the little thing, and they exhale the carbon dioxide into the blood cell. The blood cell now takes it back to the heart, and it gets pumped to the lungs. It gets oxygen again. When you breathe in like we were just doing, we'll do it again. When you breathe in like that, you are literally waking your cells up. Now, the first time you do it, they don't believe you because they're just going to continue to operate at a low level. So you can imagine you're operating at the lowest vibratory level you can imagine. When you start to breathe deeply, not just morning and night, but throughout the day, when you make that a habit, and this is not a meditation, this isn't breathe in through your nose, there's none of that. This is how much air I can possibly get into my lungs. I don't care how I get it in there. If it's the nose, the mouth, the ears, any way you can take air in, fill your lungs up, because when the depleted blood cells come, all of a sudden there's every single alveoli is filled up with air, and every single blood cell is now getting a full dose of oxygen, and it goes back to the heart and it pumps out. And now these cells, your brain cells, your liver cells, it comes down and you go, oh, heck yeah, I love this. And it takes a deep breath, and now it can start, your cells actually start to operate at a higher vibratory level. It takes about 3 weeks, but maybe it'll happen for you sooner. But you can actually feel your level go up. You can actually feel your energetic level go up. So it's essential. Let's do it again. Relax. I do this in front of the mirror. Again, this is not a meditation. This is not a spiritual thing. This is getting as much oxygen as you can into the system to raise your vibratory rate. This is all about health, okay? All about health. Hey, there I go. All right, so diaphragmatic breathing. Just catch 2 or 3 diaphragmatic breaths. On the third one, I'm going to breathe a little. Now, when I'm saying breathe, I don't mean breathe faster. Breathe deeper and longer. Diaphragm first. Pull your ribs apart. Relax your back muscles. You can sip more air in if you can sip more air in. Hold it 7, 8 seconds. And exhale. Going to give you 2 tips. Number 1, when you're fully breathed in, keep your shoulders relaxed. Don't tense up. Just keep your shoulders relaxed. And number 2, keep your elbows away from your body. Because what happens, you can feel as soon as you put your elbows down, you literally can feel how it compresses your lungs. It pushes the little lat muscles in, and the lat muscles push the lungs, push the ribs in. And so as you breathe, you can just keep them like on a chair handle, for example, or you can That's what I do in front of the mirror. Keep my elbows away from the body. And then a pro tip, but you'll pass out if you do this in the beginning, is just to no, don't clasp your fingers. Just hold your fingers because you don't want any tension, right? Just hold your fingers like that. Makes sense. We're not talking spirituality here. We're not talking deep enlightenment. This is just how can you get on a regular basis, get into a habit of hyperoxygenating yourself. I have two videos of this on YouTube. I'll put on the link, or maybe someone can go to YouTube and find them and put the link on for me. But there's two videos. The first one explains how your cells work and why it's so important to breathe. And the second one is this, and it probably has 5 or 6 more tips that I forgot about how to take that full lung expansion breath. So that's the what I really wanted to share with you about breathing. Breathing is the center of your health. This is the center of it. Breathing. You have to breathe all the time, otherwise you're unalive. So it's essentially the one thing that makes you alive. Why? Because you need the vital life force that's in the air to breathe, to live, for the cells to operate. You need the oxygen for the cells to operate. If you don't have that, you just live at a lower and lower and lower and lower level of vibration. You come to some comfort zone down here at a very low level, and you just are a low vibratory rate. And there's no reason to live like that if you don't want to.